this was one sleep study that was really fascinating. I think this was at UCLA where they did this, USC, one of those Southern California schools, where it was college students, and they had them come into a sleep lab, right? They made it look like a bedroom, and they would they paid them, like psychology students, they paid them like $60 or whatever to be part of this study so that they would. And so they put them in bed, they turn out the lights, make the conditions as optimal as possible, and then as soon as they started dreaming, and there's two ways to tell if you're dreaming. How do you tell? REM sleep. So REM meaning rapid eye movement. In other words, you can see, like, when somebody's dreaming and you will go like this, like I do that with my kids sometimes. I'll just kind of go, while they're asleep, they don't know that I'm doing it. But their eyes will be going back and forth, just kind of like, you can see it in their eyelids even. If their eyeballs are going back and forth quite a bit, that means at that time they're dreaming. Also, you can tell if you have them hooked up to an electroencephalogram and they're in that theta or delta level of brainwave activity, that's when dreaming happens also. So what happened is they would have them sleeping, they'd put them to sleep, and then as soon as they started dreaming, they woke them up. And then they'd let them fall back asleep. So they got the same amount of sleep, but they prevented them from from dreaming. What do you think happened to those guys? Horrible, horrible problems. They got sick more often. They could not do their their test scores went down compared to the others. They were more irritable, like you said. There are all kinds of problems, even to the point where some of them said during the day they would start hallucinating. Their body was trying to dream. Now, so a couple things that prevent us from doing that. So we've got phones. Heavy levels of stress prevent us from going into deep levels of sleep. Alcohol prevents you from going down into those deep levels of sleep, especially, if you drink from 4 or 5 on during the night. Caffeine prevents you from going into deep levels of sleep. And even sleeping medication, it does help you to fall asleep, but it prevents you from going into deep levels, very restorative sleep. Now, so we said, so it's fresh air, it's cooler, and again, make it tolerable cool. If you can, whatever that is for you. If it's 39 degrees, fine. If it's 55 degrees, if it's 74 degrees. Now, that's why people say, take a bath or take a shower before going to bed. Doesn't have anything to do with the bed. Baths could be, relaxing, but how do you feel immediately after you get out of the bath? You're cold, right? That's why you do that. That's one of the reasons why you do that, so that you get out and you're like, ooh, Jesus. It mimics how it used to be for us being cold getting into bed. Now, there was one other condition that was common to our ancestors. We've kind of hinted at it. It was very fresh air, cooler. What's another thing that's obviously, it's dark. Your room should be as dark as you can possibly get it. To the point where I put little, what do they call it, electrical tape over anything that is a little tiny light that's like on a VCR or on the TV. We've got blackout blinds. The reason for this is there's one hormone, one brain hormone melatonin, that is one of those feel-good hormones, and it only kicks in during the nighttime, and it also only kicks in during when it is perfectly dark or mostly dark.